Hello, once again from Canada. After a wonderful visit with Calgary and the rest of Alberta nerds at Reboot and Canmore, and then a week in South Africa, I'm back home in Ontario and excited to share some important trends today that we simply cannot ignore. In fact, all the links and stories today are about trends. And last week, or 2 weeks ago, I know I talked about the way the wind was blowing, but it seems there's an acceleration of kinds happening on various fronts, and it's only wise for us all to be aware and come out in front of it completely. So instead of being afraid of new trends, let's either ride the waves if they're good or be prepared to defend them if they are upcoming threats. In our first story, we have a Swiss Army malware that can develop more threats than ever before. This is a report from Picos Security that shows that new malware can carry up to 30 tactics, techniques, and procedures known as TTPs. And the trend here is that we have increased sophistication that requires increased defensive posturing. Well, Zero Trust connectivity happens to address the vast majority of TTPs in malware, but limiting what an infected system can do. Fortinet had to patch over 40 flaws affecting various products of theirs. And as per this article, an external control of file name or path vulnerability in Fortinet web server may allow an unauthenticated attacker to perform arbitrary write on the system, Fortinet said in an advisory last week. The trend here is that attackers are going higher up the food chain, so to speak. So an attack vector affects a wider range of products and therefore presents a broader opening for attack. And cybersecurity expert raises an alarm about China's cyber actors claiming to be a wolf in sheep's clothing, so to speak. And as per this article, non-Chinese companies that are operating in China are required to comply by local laws. And by complying with Chinese laws, these companies unwittingly have installed backdoors for Chinese state hackers. The trend here, that jurisdictions that are not friendly to us do not hesitate to take advantage any way that they can. And unfortunately, hackers have stolen source code from GoDaddy and then installed malware in a multi-year breach. This came when customer reporting trended that their sites were being used to redirect to random domains. So the attackers had access to the company's network for multiple years. Again, the trend here is that there's broad impact attacks happening. Why focus on a lonely website on GoDaddy when you can target them all at once, right? And finally, there's also this article from VentureBeat that talks about 5 security trends. So here's a trend within a trend article. But number one here that I want to point out is that credential phishing remains a hacker's go-to. So of course, that's no surprise since the top cybersecurity company still claims, a community, I should say, still claims that a phish killer is elusive. So it's no surprise that attacks continue in this vector. However, we believe the trend this year will be reversing as we figure out how to make ourselves phishing proof. And some early adopters in the bleeding edge of Zero Trust connectivity have already experienced this, and it'll soon become more broadly available for wider adoption. And did you know that you can make your old Windows PC usable again with this TWINN script, which makes use of many of the tools that we already know and like? And it doesn't have to be an old PC. You can run this on a brand new computer to immediately make it run better. Enjoy. See you again next week.